All right, this morning we're going to set up a Sartopo account, join the JSAR SARTopo team, which is run by the Sheriff's Office, and install the Topo app on our phone. The first thing we're going to do is go to sartopo.com. I'm already there, but type sartopo.com into the map, and if you've not logged in, you'll have these two options in the upper right hand corner: sign up and log in. And if you don't have an account already, we're going to create one. So we'll use an existing Gmail account. That can be a Gmail account that you already have, or which is what I'm going to do now just for demonstration purposes, or it can be your JSAR email account. Okay, otherwise you can use a personal Gmail account, which is what I will do here. Okay, it says it doesn't have an account for that email address, so I'll go ahead and create a new one for Sartopo. Type in my name. Say that I read these things because I already have. I'll click submit. Okay, now we have a Sartopo account. Step 2 is to get the link for joining the Sheriff's Office Sartopo team. I've emailed that out to most people. If you need a new link, just let me know. Okay, so I'll click that link from another email, and that brings us to this page, which asks us if we really want to join the team. Click yes, join the team. Okay, you've now joined the team. Return to the map viewer and show you what difference that made before we even go looking at the phone. The primary difference is up here in your data, your maps. You now have, in addition to any maps that you've saved in your own Sartopo account, which are none right now because this is a new account, you have the accounts that are, you have the maps that are saved to the Sheriff's Office team account. 2 of them are currently for previous missions, and there will be more in the future for actual missions. One map per mission. The remaining one here is a test map, which is what we're going to open now. So we'll just click that. All right, we have here a variety of points, an airplane track, a couple of lines that people put in, and some just random tests that were added by people because this is a test map. So this is our place to play with it. Okay, a couple of other things that are in the joint account that are not in your own. The primary one here is in the real-time data section. There's Jefferson County Sheriff's Office SAR shared locations. Shared locations are the live tracking points from inReach accounts, inReach devices, and also from ham radio trackers. And there's only one of those on the map right now. There are 2 actually, but they're in the same place. If we zoom into Bremerton, where OMR's truck is parked with its ham radio tracker and computer going, you see here that the OMR truck and the OMR computer are reporting. They last reported a few minutes ago. They're actually, I believe, in the same location, but they're showing up a few feet from each other. During an active call, this is where you would see our inReaches, both ours and from the Sheriff's Office, and from some of our personal inReaches. These other points are just static. They've been programmed into the map. They've been left there. You see a list of them over here on the left. So the Cessna track, for example. A couple of other things that will show up in there are phones. So if we are in the front country and you're reporting your location from the app, that will also show up in real-time data, the shared locations. One other thing that's different here is under your data, you can see Jefferson County Sheriff's Office SAR maps. This is data from other maps. Not really any point to this right now. It combines all of the data from previous missions and puts it all on this map. The same is true for your maps. If you had other maps saved in your personal account here, the data from those would show up when you check that box. Again, not Excuse me. Not much of a point of displaying that during another mission. And finally, we have, as opposed to a basic Sartopo account, in this team account, we have some shared layers, some shared base layers. So you can see the Jeffco Trails service is on right now. I'll turn off this aerial imagery, the name that's under everything right now. I'll switch back to Map Builder Topo to show you what this trails data looks like. And we'll just zoom in on the Larry Scott Trail here. Okay, you see for the Larry Scott Trail by the mill in Port Townsend, two trails actually that are on top of each other. You know, the Larry Scott Memorial Trail, the Pacific Northwest Trail, another Larry Scott Trail. It's kind of confusing. If I make the Jeffco Trail service completely transparent, one of those goes away. So this is just showing you that this trail layer that's custom for our account has some additional trails on it that are not in the published stuff. Here you see the trail running up a ravine up the Hancock Street right of way is not in the National Trails data, but it's in ours. Some of the other little trails around Port Townsend are in one of the trails data or not in the other. So let me leave that off for a second and add another custom layer that's ours, Jeffco address service. So it says the address points. Not too great at a small scale. It's just a bunch of confusion on the map. But if you zoomed in to a block or you looked at an area off of Duckabush Road where houses are more scattered, it might actually be helpful to see where there are addresses. The addresses usually mean homes or businesses or something of that sort. Going along with that is our Jeffco parcels service. So there's a couple ways to see land parcels in this map. But this one's unique to our shared map, and it's our county parcel data. It takes a while to load, even for a small area like this. But you can see now where the land parcels are, and with the addresses on, you can see, you know, approximately there's a home in the middle of this parcel. All right, so that's the unique features of being in a map that is associated with the Sheriff's Office account. Other things in your data, obviously your maps would be here too, but keep in mind that because we do one map per mission, if there's a pending mission, you might look in your app or on your computer at this site and see that the mission is being built, that the information from the 911 system is being added to a map to try to get some sense of where the subject is, or where the inReach pings are coming from, or where we're thinking about starting a search. So that's going in on your computer is maybe valuable. You could get some sense of the situation as it develops. Loading the current mission's map on your phone prior to leaving, that could really help. We'll get into why after we get the phone app going. The app we're going to look for is called CalTopo. Sartopo, CalTopo, they're the same company. The app is called CalTopo, and that's the public-facing version of their mapping system. Sartopo is the implementation of it for SAR teams, but the app is the same. It's always called CalTopo. So I'll install that. And then I will open that. Okay, you don't need to share data if you don't want to. Server, you want to switch here to Sartopo because that's what we're using, not CalTopo. And then we're going to want to sign in with Google and use the account that we just used. to sign up with Sartopo on our computer and to join the Sheriff's Office team. All right, we'll click Sync Account. And there we have it. We're now logged in. We have the CalTopo app installed. We're logged in on our phone using our same app. And we can verify that by clicking the menu up here in the left corner and seeing that in addition to your maps, we also have Jefferson County Sheriff's Office SAR maps. We'll click that and we should see the same list of 3 maps that I just showed you from the computer. Okay, so same data everywhere. Obviously, though, this mobile app is going to be a little more useful in the field for field personnel as opposed to base personnel. For one thing, we have the ability to click the little button down here in the lower right corner. It's the locator button, the second one from the bottom right there. And we'll say that we'll let CalTopo access this device's location while using the app. That should be enough. And it's going to pull up my GPS location and zoom us into Port Townsend. All right, a few other things we want to get familiar with in the app. First of all, the layers. So that's the cake stack in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, the three layers stacked there. Has the same map choices as what we saw on the computer. It includes the addresses, parcels, and trails down there at the bottom, our custom layers. Map Builder Topo is what we usually start with, and then if you wanted one of those custom things on top of it, you would stack a new layer, say DNR Road Service, which is another custom one that we have here. Ensures that every little road out in the wilderness that DNR knows about is in our map, even if it wasn't in the base Sartopo data. All right, let's see, we could also add, if we were not looking at the Map Builder Topo, say we were looking at imagery. It's a satellite image from within the last couple of years. It's nowhere near live. And it has the DNR roads on it. And then say we want topo lines on that. So we could say we want to add contours. And there's our contours. Another very good base map that we might want to use is, at least in the forest, is the Forest Service base map. We could shut the DNR roads layer off. And this is that Forest Service topo map. So it's a relatively authoritative, of course, and comprehensive topo map made by the Forest Service. There's some limits to it, so it's as you get away from the forest, you see that it has borders. So it doesn't go into Discovery Bay, Port Townsend, Quilcene, etc. It's forest areas and close to the forest only. Okay, and I think that's about it for base maps. There are some real-time things or fairly updated maps as well, including weekly satellites from Sentinel. And you can see it was cloudy when that image was shot. So if you actually want a recent satellite picture, 510 was cloudy. So let's go back to 5.1. Also pretty cloudy. Back to 420. That's pretty good. Not very good resolution in these weekly Sentinel satellite passes. It's nowhere near the resolution of the National Aerial Imagery Project. The NAPE photos that are taken from airplanes. So these are much higher resolution. Okay, I show all that just to show you that we can download some of these to our phones. So as with most apps that are GPS based, they want to make them easy to use off the cell phone grid. So we have the option to download layers here. So that's what we're going to do. All right, and I'll zoom out a little bit to see most of the county, and we'll start selecting boxes that overlap with portions of Jefferson County. And you don't need to download all of these. It's up to you how much room you want to take up on your phone. But I think you could get away with about 6 or 8 boxes and cover the east side of Olympic National Park. And then you could add a few more on the west end, and that would cover the areas where we typically work. I'm just doing the whole county just because. On the next step would be up at the right next to the menu button, which we don't need that. Next to it though is the download button, so the little cloud with an arrow down. So I want to download the Map Builder Topo. I want to download the most recent Forest Service. And I think I want imagery and contours as well. And you can see that it's 2 gigabytes of data. I have 30 gigabytes available on this device, so it's no problem. And I will click download. And that's going to be working for quite a while. So take a break and we'll come back to it after that. Okay, and we can see it's just finishing up here. It took about 5 minutes on Wi-Fi, and you probably should use Wi-Fi to download a couple of gigabytes of map data. You can see that all the boxes that I had selected and that were yellow outlines before, they're now blue cover, and that shows coverage for Map Builder Topo. So if I change this to Map Builder Overlay, they go away. I don't have that downloaded. I change it to Forest Service 2016. You can see it is blue where it's downloaded. It's also red where there is no Forest Service topo coverage. And then we also downloaded the NAPE 2015. And again, you can see red and gray where there's no coverage, but blue where I did download the data. All right. So maps are downloaded. Let's go back to the main screen here and turn off this aerial imagery and just go back to the Map Builder Topo. Let's verify that we are in the proper map here, which we will just do by going to Jefferson County Sheriff's Office SAR and go into this test JSAR training map. Okay. So now we're in the test map. It doesn't matter. We can't screw anything up here if we play around. So the first thing we're going to do is enable tracking for this device. I mentioned that when we're looking at the option here for down at the bottom for Jefferson County Sheriff's Office SAR shared locations, that a phone with tracking enabled would also be a shared location. So to demonstrate that, we'll click the 4 little dots down in the box in the lower right corner of the screen. That brings up a menu and gives us a few options that we're going to try here. The first one that I've just been talking about is share location. Share location. So let's click that, and I'm going to type in JSAR 128 and share location with the team and start sharing. Okay, so now not only, let's turn some addresses and things off here. Okay, not only am I seeing myself on the screen, but if I go to any other device that is looking at a sheriff's office account, it's logged into the sheriff's office account. It doesn't matter which map they're on, they will see my current location as it's being tracked. So if you're on a ground team and you're in self-service, you can turn this on and base will be able to watch you move around the map and they'll be able to see where your team is. What that does not do is save your track. So it's sharing a point where you are right now and maybe where you've been for the last 30 minutes, but it's not saving where you've been. So let's shut off that sharing right now. We will just uncheck share location with the sheriff's office, and that changes this blue button to stop sharing. There we go. We're no longer sharing our location. What we might want to do instead, or at the same time, or if we don't have cell service, is record a track. And this can be instead of recording the track with Avenza, with your handheld GPS, with any other device that you're using to record the track. You want to, if you're on an active search and you're in the map for that search, you want to record that track to that map. That's the way it's where your team was, where your team searched. The next time your phone syncs, it will appear on that mission map. So the records of that mission will show that your team was here. It's effectively the same thing that we've always done with downloading data after the search from our handheld GPSs and then uploading it to a map. This just makes it a little more automated if you want to use the cell device. So click record track, and that will start the process, and it'll record. I mean, you're not going to see any movement here, but if I was walking around on a search, we would see the track of that team, and I called it team 1, and it would be saved on the map. All right, so let's stop track. So finish, and we'll save that current track. And so there should be a very tiny track there. And there it is, team 1. Show a map. That's very, since I wasn't walking around, there's not much to see, but rest assured, you recorded a track, and it will be saved with this mission. In this case, this practice mission for all time. All right, something else we might want to do is put a point on a map. So say that we gotta get over to the forest here and say we got an inReach ping somewhere, random place, let's say close to the top of Mount Townsend. Somebody's in trouble here. I just hold down my finger where the marker needs to be and click add marker and type inReach ping. And I'll say it's at 08:23 as we try to keep track of the time, so we can see the movement if there is any of the people that we're looking for. All right, another thing we could do is add our current location. We'll click the blue button down the bottom where it says 345 degrees. Bottom right, and that takes us back to our current location. Up at the top, there we have some options here. In addition to the cake layer stack that we've been using to turn on the maps, next is we have a folder with items in it, and these are all of the items that have been added to this test map. We have, skipping over the plus sign for a second, we have a measurement option, so we can measure distance, for example. Just draw a line, click the done box, and it tells us that I was 2.21 miles. So you might use that to do a quick measurement, either distance, or you could also measure bearing, area, anything else. So, okay, the search magnifying glass there, you could type in, say, Mount Townsend. Oops, my Townsend is probably not going to work. Mount Townsend probably will. Negative. Let's try Mount. Let's turn off centering and then try it. There we go. Okay, so my error there was that I had map centering on. So that's down in the menu here, the pop-up options in the lower right corner, keep centered. It's going to
keep the screen centered on you no matter what you try to do, no matter what you search for. So if you click stop centering, then we can do that. Mount Townsend search takes us right to the summit. So say that's where we were and we wanted to add a point right at our current location. And instead of holding down our finger on the screen, we can click that one remaining button in the upper right, which is the plus. Click that and it gives us a lot of options for SAR related things. Most of these are done at the command post, the operational period down through the sectors, all that stuff, even the folder as well. But if you want to add a marker or a line or a polygon, those are things that could be added in the field as well, especially if you find a clue. So let's add a marker there. Marker at the top of Mount Townsend, and we'll say that we found a Coke can. And you can change the color if you want to. Make it stand out from other things, etc. Okay, so that's adding things to the map. Once we've added things, again, that to the right of the plus button up in the upper right is that folder with items in it. And you see the list of everything that's been added, including what we just added, the Coke can. Okay. If you want to find out where something is, oops, wrong button. You want to find out where a clue is that someone else added, like Here Be Dragons, click it, and it will take you to that spot. Okay, that's about it. Just one note of caution here. We should be able to lock old mission maps so that they don't get disturbed. However, I don't believe they're locked right now, so don't open and play with or modify or leave open on your computer the map from a mission that we've closed. So if you you were on this DOSI missing person search in 2018, and that's what's open on your phone, and then you go for a bike ride and record a track, it's going to show up on that mission map. Obviously, that's suboptimal. So you can go to your maps, your personal maps, and create one, call it recreation or something. Use it for things like that, or training, and use it for JSAR training. You can always switch to this shared test JSAR training map because you can't hurt anything there. You can delete and change other people's marks if you want to here without bothering anyone. Or you can simply close map, which is the second item in this main menu. And now we have no map open. I'll open a map again to show you how you know that. So when we open the test training map, in the upper left-hand corner of it, you see test JSAR training. Upper left-hand corner of the map itself. Sorry, did not mean to do that. And if you click that, it brings you to the full extent of the map. So if I opened, I'll just do this for a test, 210979, which was an inReach beacon search. And I click that. First, when you open it, it brings you to the full extent. The furthest, it shows you all the points that were added to the map. These points for inReach pings were all fairly close together, so we're really zoomed in. If we open, let's go back to the test training map. It brings us to the full extent of the map, and it's pretty broad because people have been putting points and lines and things all over the side of the county. So again, this is how you know you're in a map, and you could see there in the upper left-hand corner of the map that, oh no, I'm in a numbered mission map. I probably should not be there. I need to get out of this. Go and close the map. And then you'll see the upper left-hand corner of the map is blank. There's no name of the map there until you save it. Okay. You can only save a map after you've done something to it. So if you add a line or a point or something, then you could save it.